everyone, as you can see today I'm in a new setting. This is kind of like my studio closet. I'm going to do the tour a little bit later because the room is still not finished yet, but once it is, I'm going to do that, so don't worry. Today I'm going to do a blabbing video, but I'm going to cover a very important topic, at least for me. Some details are going to be kind of gross, so if you're very sensitive, just wait until I explain what I'm going to talk about and just continue watching something else, or continue watching this video if you find this relevant. I'm going to talk about unwanted hair and how I got rid of it. And when I say got rid, I mean for good. Basically today I'm going to talk about electroepilation, or as many of you call it, electrolysis. Now, if you are interested, again, continue watching. If not, just skip this video. So let me just cover my background shortly. I was born in Estonia. My parents were born in Estonia. However, our roots go to Russia and Ukraine. These are not the most southern countries. However, they kind of are. Well, at least from where we come from. And let's say the whole of my family has this issue that we do have unwanted hair on our legs and, well, men have on some other parts of their bodies. It's okay for men, but for ladies, yeah, it's kind of gross, right? Since 10, I guess I was 10, I was dancing. So I was a dancer, not anymore, but still. We had quite a lot of performances and I had to take care of my body a little bit more than the rest of the girls. So the problem was that at that point of time, which was nearly 20 years ago, there were not so many methods available for removal of unwanted hair. So at that point of time, I used shavers, and then I was introduced to Electroepilator, which is this device. I have to say that, okay, it's these two methods do work. For some people, they do work still, and there's still no problem with that. But in my case, the problem with the shaver, or with shaving, was my skin is quite sensitive, so I had always a rash. Second, my hairs, which are kind of dark and hard, became even harder. In the sense that if you imagine the hair, then let's say this finger is a hair. The tip of the hair is kind of like thin, and going to the root? Yeah, going back to the root, it becomes thicker, right? If you shave it, then let's say your tip becomes the center of the hair. So the hair is kind of, well, thicker, right? Although it's not a tip, but when you shave it, it becomes. So the hair, although it doesn't matter if you pull it out or if you shave it, it doesn't change. But if you pull it out, it grows out thinner on the end. And in my case, it's also kind of blondish, but then it gathers melanin, which gives hair some color, and it becomes very, very dark. So shaving was bad. Electroepilator was good, and I didn't have problems for, let's say, 2 or 3 weeks after pulling the hairs out. However, the problem was that I started having bumps on my skin, and even bumps were not a problem. My hairs were growing under the skin or growing into the skin too. And the bumps started turning dark. And if you go out, especially sunbathing, the dark color becomes even darker on the sun, in the sun. And I was so shy because of that. Like, my legs have never been perfect, although I don't have a problem with excess weight, but I was always trying to cover my figure, which was quite okay. Well, normally it's quite okay. Sometimes I do gain some weight, but still. And I was trying to hide my legs. I couldn't wear mini skirts because of that, and it basically gave me a lot of self-confidence problems. So I was in a constant search of new methods available, and I found online quite recently two methods, which is phototherapy and laser therapy. Maybe they're called a little bit differently in your countries, but they're called like this here. So basically, let's say a photo device or laser device are inserted on top of your skin, the signal is given, and then after a few weeks, all the black hairs, not white hairs, black hairs fall out, which is really good. However, I'm this type of person who always needs to do a lot of research. So this is what I did. And I found out that these devices, both photo and laser, are not good for women who have never given birth, especially in the bikini zone. So if you watch, for example, I love this TV program Botched on the channel E, and Terry Dubrow said that too. So for me, he's like an expert of all the experts. So yeah, he said that if you have never given birth, just skip it for now, because these procedures are kind of new and you never know what the consequences could be. So I decided, okay, I don't have children, I don't want to risk, these procedures are not for me. I started searching for other methods, and I did find another method, which is called electroepilation. Now this is not epilation using this device. This is the procedure, which is also called electrolysis, and basically there is this device which is connected to a needle with the help of the cable. And there are different devices. There are 4 methods available in the electrolysis procedure. I'm going to talk about the one that I used on myself. Basically, there's this device which is connected to the needle with the help of the cable. The lady who does the procedure chooses the intensity of electricity and frequency. And then this needle needs to be put under your skin. I know it sounds gross. And the needle needs to be inserted into the follicle of the hair. In case it's not, there's no use of this procedure. If it is, then the signal that goes inside of your follicle kills the hair and it will not grow back again. It might, because, well, let's say every procedure will make, if it's done correctly, will make the hair, let's say, less strong, and it will lose some color, or it will become less hot, maybe not hard, but less thick. But sometimes it might take up to 8 procedures on the same hair to remove it. Now remember, when the hair falls out, it needs some time to, let's say, the follicle needs some time to regrow this hair, even if it was not killed. So it all takes time, so you have to be very patient. So imagine, no matter how many hairs you have on your body, you need this needle to be inserted into every single follicle. Depending on how much hair you have, you will need to repeat these procedures several times. Now, in my case, I found this lady, the only lady in my country who does that, the only one, imagine. She has a queue 3 to 4 months. I had to wait for those months, and then I had 1 procedure a week, which lasted, on the average, let's say, sometimes less, sometimes more, 2 hours. So every week, 2 hours. The cost of 1 minute was 70 cents. So every time it would be minimum 80 something euros. Imagine that. Yeah, it's not cheap, let's say. So you need to insert this needle into every single follicle, and depending on how much hair you have, the, let's say, region this big, well, in the beginning, this big, could be removed? Well, I guess it took me half a year to get the result that I got. Now let me show you the pictures. The first picture, which is the grossest picture, is what I had before I started the procedure. As you can see, my hairs are very thick, unflattering. You can see the bumps. You don't see the bumps actually very good in this picture, but believe me, they were really not flattering. Now the next picture is what happens when the procedure is done. You can see those bumps. This is it looks like a rash. It goes away within one evening, and basically this is the reaction of your skin towards the electricity. And then the third picture, which is this, is what I have right now. So I've been doing this procedure for half a year. I'm not doing it at the moment because every time you do the procedure, after a few days, you have, let's say, a small wound. Unfortunately, I don't have a picture to show you, but it's, let's say 1 to 2 millimeters big, and it takes around 2 weeks for those small wounds to heal. Now, if you go out having those little wounds, then basically you will have the same problem as I had with the bumps. So your tan would not be even, and yeah, you don't want that. So during the summer, I'm not doing this procedure. I'm just enjoying what I have right now. And yes, as you can see, compared to what I had, my legs are just perfect, really. Now, after you go home, let me just show you, you use 2 creams. I'm not sure if they're sold in your countries. I know that around Estonia, they do sell them in pharmacies. So one is, as we call it, Traumel. Maybe it's called a little bit differently in your language. And then Bepanthen, we call it Bepanthen. These are 2 creams that basically take the rash away, and then they, let's say, take all the sensitivity from your skin, and they make the healing process faster, especially this cream. I will write their names under this video. What else? Basically, I have done only 2 of my legs. So I've done, it took me half a year and once a week. Sometimes, well, the last months I didn't have time to go every single week. So it was twice a month. But basically, within half a year, my legs were more or less okay. So not the complete leg, but let's say starting from the knee and below. As you could see, I didn't have that many hairs. So for some, this process could take longer, for some shorter. But for me, I have to say it is amazing. And the last picture that I showed you with my progress, it was with around 1 month of from the last session. So as you can see, the hairs are not growing out. I still plan to continue doing this in the end of August, starting with the end of August, and I'm going to do the rest of my legs, including the bikini zone. Initially, I wanted to do my armpits too. However, I happen to know, and the lady who did that suggested that I don't do the procedure under my armpits because she said that there could be consequences. I'm not going to talk about that, but because it's difficult for me to explain that in the English language, but yeah, I'm not going to do that. But I'm going to complete the rest of my legs. And of course, there are some factors that are not that don't allow you to do this procedure. For example, they say that if you have problems with the heart, basically when you can't use electricity on yourself, this is when you cannot use this procedure. I guess I will write those factors under this video too. And I guess this is more or less it. If you have any more questions, just let me know. I will record a separate video answering all of those questions. I'm not going to suggest that everyone has to do this procedure, but I also forgot to mention that this procedure has been used for over 108 years, and it was initially used to remove ingrown eyelashes from women. So it has been used for such a long time. Terry Dubrow from Botched said that this is the only method that he knows which is safe to use on women who haven't given birth to children, and that's, I guess, the most important factor for me because, as I told you, I'm a chicken and I'm always afraid of everything. So I hope this video was helpful for you guys. If you have any more questions, just let me know, and sorry this video is so long. Enjoy your summer, and I wish you all the best. My hugs, kisses, and I'll see you soon. Thank you for watching. Bye-bye.